Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny, your host of Redbeard Plays, and the host of Recluse Gaming, which is my secondary gaming channel. You should go check that out if you like Fallout, Bethesda games, or just RPG games in general. Right now I'm doing a playthrough of Dark Souls 1 for the Return to Lordran event, and you guys might find that to be kind of fun to hang out for. But that's not what this video is about. It's kind of a difficult topic, so I do want to just kind of give like an advance trigger warning. This episode, I'm so scatterbrained, sorry guys. This video is going to be discussing death and relationship issues and communication and basically 2025 for me. Okay. I'm kind of summing it up. So if that's not something you're interested in hearing about, if that's a thing that's too much for you, please just like click off. I won't be offended. I won't even know. So, you know, there's always that too. But I want to take a moment and discuss this because first off, you guys know, or at least if you've kept up with my channel or me in the last 9 months at any of my uploads or live streams, you know my father has been battling cancer. And so there's not really an easy or a light way to discuss this other than just kind of saying that he passed away. And I won't say that he lost his battle, but he did give it all he's got. He put everything into it, all of the energy and effort that he possibly could. He did everything that he was supposed to do. Everything. And we laid him to rest on January 3rd of 2026. He passed on the 28th of December. And this is one of those videos that I knew for a while now I was gonna have to make because I shared it with you guys on a public format. I knew there was gonna be a day that would come where I have to share this update. And there's a couple of things that I want to discuss today. And it's not to focus on bad, it's to focus on beautiful learning moments through a very, very difficult window and chapter in my life, in a very difficult, challenging journey for my father. So my father and I in general have had a very complicated relationship since I became an adult and moved out on my own. There's a lot of lore, and to be quite frank, this is not the platform to share that on. But it's important to know that we had a very up and down relationship throughout my early adult life. And it all came down to communication skills, bad communication skills. And I want to share all that specifically to say, if you have a person in your life, a loved one, a friend, a family member, a significant other that you're having issues with, or that you think you're having issues with, a lot of the time you can resolve those things by talking and being open and honest and transparent and receptive. That's the biggest thing, is receptive to what the person's saying to you. And this is me speaking to myself, because I'm just at fault as he was with those things. But some things to focus on is that we did learn how to do that. We shared several weeks out of this last year through some very hard times, talking about our past and the things that we struggled with and how we've built off of that. And I don't know, I just felt like that's important to share. I mean, I'm sorry guys, I'm just kind of freeballing this, you know. It's one of those things, like, I don't really know how to talk about it. You know, I had to speak at my dad's funeral, and you know, I just shared like lessons learned and ability to communicate with each other and family, and I reflected on some beautiful memories. But it's even like I said that day, it's like I don't know what else to say or how to say it, because it's weird. This is weird. And if you've ever lost a parent or a loved one, but especially a parent, when I say it's weird, like, you know what I'm talking about. It's just strange. And I don't know, I wanted to just take a moment and I guess hype my dad up a little bit, because he deserves that. The last 9 months was his truest self. I seen a man that was very misunderstood really come out of his shell and be very himself. And a prime example I have that I could share is a wonderful memory / bad memory that I have. And this was in the beginning when we were first learning everything. And it was after his second MRI. And we got bad news. And once it was kind of discussed with him, he wanted to go tell the rest of our family, and he asked me to do that with him. And so we went to my family's, his parents and his brother and nieces and nephews were there, and or nieces, I'm sorry, the nephews weren't there. They live in out of state. And we just talked, and I explained everything to them and the severity of what was going on, and it was a really difficult day. But at the end of that really difficult moment, the true version of my dad, his true self, came out, because we got in the car and I was taking him home because he said, "I'm tired, son." Whew. And we get in the car, and we're driving back to where he was living at the time. And he said, "I want to listen to some music. Do you have any music?" And I said, "Yeah, what do you want to listen to?" He's like, "I don't know, what do you have?" You know, he's thinking, you know, I guess CDs or something, I don't know. And I said, "Dad, I have I got a phone, man. I got Spotify. I can play whatever you want." I pulled it up for him, and I handed him the phone. I said, "Just whatever you want." And he said, "Well, I can't really see the screen very well. You'll have to do it for me." And with what my dad had, it affected his vision. And so I said, "What do you want? Just tell me." And he said, "I want Metallica." So I pulled it up, and then I also enlarged the text size. And I said, "Here you go." And I handed him the phone, and he could read, you know, it just enough to find, because he couldn't read the keyboard is what it was. He could read the text on the, like, whatever, you know, on the Spotify app. Like, he could read the names of the songs. And he played "For Whom the Bell Tolls." And my dad was a drummer when he was young in a metal band, and uncle that wasn't married to my aunt. My cousin's dad, but I called him Uncle Matt. He was the guitarist. And we had another friend of the family who was my dad's bass player, and they loved Metallica. They played Metallica and Megadeth and all that stuff. So I grew up, that's why I love metal and death metal and stuff like that. And he played For Whom the Bell Tolls. And the relevancy of about the metal band stuff is my dad started air drumming. My dad just 2 weeks prior was told he was going to die. And he just told his family that. He gets in the car and he picks Metallica For Whom the Bell Tolls, and he takes the volume knob and cranks it to 45, and it only goes to 50 on a car radio, and he cranked it to 45, and he just started air drumming and just working up a sweat air drumming. And we were at a stop, and I'm just looking at him and I'm smiling. And it was weird because it was there was an aura around him, I don't know, in this moment, it was who I always remembered as a kid, being my dad. We'd go on road trips and he would do that, and I'd play my air guitar and stuff. And it was just my dad, in that moment. And then it got to take a look up to the sky just before you die. It's the last time you will. And he just stopped. And he processed that line, and he just literally looked out the window and looked up. And it was this weird, morbid, beautiful moment. A full circle moment for me. And who knows, whatever he was feeling. And I'm sharing that because my dad was at his core an incredibly fun man to play games with, to hang out with, to party with, to travel with. My dad used to take me hunting when I was growing up. He took me to Virginia and to Maryland and to Georgia, and we hunted in Florida, North Florida. And my parents, they separated whenever I was a kid, and my dad used to come pick me up, and we would drive to Odom, Georgia, and he leased a piece of property there. And we loved that property so much that whenever my parents came back together and were back together, we moved to a town called Scriven, Georgia, which was 25 minutes, 30 minutes from Odom and Jessup, Georgia. And I ended up going to Wayne County High School, and I played baseball there, and that was my introduction to school baseball at a middle school and then a high school varsity level. And I played, baseball, and my dad was involved with my baseball from the time I started, and I started playing when I was 4. So he was a coach or an assistant coach or very involved with the team from the time I was 4 until I started school ball. And then he never missed a game. And that was either a good or a bad thing, depending on how we were doing. Because he just wanted to push me to be the best, because he believed in me. And I don't know, I have a lot of great stories there, but all that to loop back around to say, we love to go hunting and stuff, and my dad had his own business and dreams and things that he pursued, and he never gave up on any of that. And I guess what I'm trying to get at with all this is communicate with the people you love. If you have something you're pursuing, don't give up. The difficulty will never end in life. So why not choose to push through and deal with that difficulty with it being something that you love, that you're passionate about. And you know, obviously don't put yourself in a situation where it's bad. You know how to balance your passion and taking care of yourself and your family. Know how to balance that, but don't ever give up. And I just personally want to say thank you to everybody that's not given up on me. I love doing this, and I know I'm no Tim the Tap Man, and I'm no whoever, Kai Cenat or whatever. I know I'm none of these guys. I'm an old boomer dad gamer now. I don't even have a kid, but it's what I feel like it. But I'll never give up. It's something that I love, and some people like it. And my dad, we got to talk a lot about this. We got to talk a lot about my streaming and my Discord server and the community and stuff. And he used to be involved with my stuff before we kind of like separated, and he loved it whenever when everything was actually happening in action and stuff, before we had our fallout and stuff. And he thought it was so cool that you guys, when he got sick and everything, you guys supported me in getting to him and being able to help me pay for gas or food while I was traveling through the subathons and stuff that we would do over the summer and stuff. Thank you guys so much. You guys really help give me more time with my dad. And I will forever be indebted to you guys. Thank y'all. Seriously. I also made some cool memories with my dad in the last 9 months. And one of those being that we got to play video games together again. And we hadn't played games together in like 9 years, and we played Sniper Elite. It was his favorite game. Sniper Elite 4, or either 3 or 4, but either way, it doesn't matter. He had thousands of hours on those games, and he had everything maxed out. I mean, I will never like scratch the surface of like everything he did in those games. And so, some of you guys were very generous and helped me pay for Sniper Elite so he and I could play it together. And I just can't express how grateful for that I am. I remember I ordered him on the 5th of April, the day after he got home from the hospital and I got home from traveling. He just wanted to play video games with me so bad because we talked about it that weekend and after all the bad news and everything. And I remember he told me he didn't have a headset, and I bought him a Cloud Core gaming headset, and it was the black and blue ones. And let's see, I think maybe like right here on the screen I'll put a picture that I have that he sent me in them. He was just so excited and so happy about getting those, and just really thankful that we got to stay connected by playing video games together. And what he didn't know is while we were doing it, I recorded the whole gaming session, and I always have that, and I'm so thankful for that. So to everybody that just watches my content, supports me in the content, watches it, plays games with me, hangs out in Discord, watches my streams, whatever it may be, thank you. Seriously, thank you guys. I do want to take a moment and shine a spotlight, I guess, on myself for just a brief moment and say that as of recording this, I'm 196 days sober of alcohol, and I'm really proud of that. My dad knew I had a problem, and in his own way, he really tried to help, but he didn't know how to talk to me about it. And when I told him for the last time that we talked about my alcoholism, I was just under 5 months sober, and he was so excited about that for me. January 2nd marked 6 months though, and we laid him to rest on the 3rd, and so in a way we got to celebrate that together. It was a beautiful day, a hard day, but a beautiful day, and a day that brought a lot of closure. And I don't really know what else to say. I'm gonna do my best to make content for you guys and keep doing this, and stay positive and stay sober. I know it's gonna be hard, but it'll be worth it. It's already been worth what I've made it to now. This is just one chapter closing and a new one opening. So in regards to content though, if you guys want to check out some of my gaming specific content around RPGs and story driven games, the link's down below, and it's also in my about section. But my other channel, it's called Recluse Gaming, and I do have a Twitch channel that I stream on exclusively for that. In that channel, I will go ahead and be forefront and say when I'm streaming lore-based stuff, it might be quote-unquote boring because it's very like old school Let's Play, kind of focused on the game. You know, sometimes I don't use a camera. Most of the time I do, but sometimes I don't. And if it takes 5,000 hours to beat the game one time because I'm trying to do as much as I can, like, we take our time with whatever we're playing. Right now, I am doing and participating in the Dark Souls Return to Lordran event for Dark Souls 1, and then in February, I'll be doing the Dark Souls 2 Return to Drangleic, and then I believe in like March or April, they're doing Dark Souls 3. So I will be streaming a lot of Souls over the next like 3 or 4 months, but between that, it'll be Fallout 76, Fallout 4, Elder Scrolls Online, things like that. I just kind of pick one that I'm feeling for the day and play it so we can get content, so I can slowly extract lore so we can make videos on Recluse Gaming. And then on this channel, it's supposed to be dedicated to Battlefield. I have let you guys down tremendously. I've let down myself with how much I've played Battlefield. Mind you, I have a valid reason, but I will say my mind is blown. I just seen a video today talking about Battlefield 6 losing like 90% of its player base, and I'm like, when, why, how, what's going on? So I got to do some more digging and learning and research about what's going on with Battlefield 6, and I promise you guys we'll have some Battlefield content coming soon. Also, Arc Raiders, the new hype, it's the new girl next door, you know, kind of thing going on in the content space. So two beautiful souls gifted me a copy of that, and I will be collaborating with them here very soon. So maybe you guys will get some Arc Raiders content on this, not just Twitch streams, but also here on YouTube. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys are excited. But without further ado, thank you guys so much for the amazing support over the last 9 months. It's been hard. It's been probably the hardest 9 months that I've ever experienced in my life. But we did it. We made it. I did it with you, Dad. We did it together. I'm really proud of you. And Love you guys. Till next time, this is Danny, your host of Redbeard Plays. See you guys on the next one.